Hi everyone, Drythany Waltano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Rochelle Jordan album, Through the Wall. Here is the newest full-length LP from UK native, singer, songwriter, Miss Rochelle Jordan. It's now just been over a decade since her debut, 1021, so she is not new to this at all. And if this is your first Rochelle album, know you are hearing an artist who at this point is fully seasoned and formed. Nearly every track on this record oozes focus, self-awareness, and experience too. So much so that this record's hour-long runtime pretty much comes across like a seamless experience as Rochelle and her collaborators deliver one chill, heady, sensual fusion of house and R&B and soul after another. And when I'm talking house, I'm talking deep house. And this strain of the genre, this vibe, is really in the water right now, as we've heard some mutant explorations of it on like the new Tyler, the Creator album, Don't Tap the Glass. And more cynical, dismissive listeners might hear what this album is doing on a surface level and dismiss it as, some fast fashion dressing room at the mall fodder. And to be real, yes, it is true. This sort of music has been co-opted to the point where many of its latest participants are simply creating nothing but a capitalism facilitation soundtrack. One that has very little to do with the kind of magic that old school Chicago DJs such as Frankie Knuckles used to showcase to get the dance floor lit up back in the day. But Rochelle Jordan has also been dabbling in this sound now for years, progressively making the shift from chill, somewhat left field R&B artist who pulled a lot of influence from Aaliyah as well as Beyonce to what you are hearing now on Through the Wall, which again is this non-stop string of subtle, heady, classy dance jams that are C-U-N-T-Y with a capital C-U-N-T-Y. Because again, what Rochelle is doing with these sounds is not simply a bland, boring, pale imitation, it is the real deal. And you really catch that in the specifics of these tracks, like in the way she describes her come up and artistic progression over the years that she's been doing this on the song LADIDA, or with the song Never Enough, which is really like a play-by-play of different arguments and tensions that seem to be throwing off balance a relationship that she's singing about on this track. We also have Eyes Shut too, which is about existing through this increasingly numbing cycle of dopamine rushes, as well as quick fixes in an age of phone screens and shallow connections. A song that I really like the idea of, but the execution does leave a little to be desired, as I feel like she just kind of scratches the surface of this topic, ironically. But also, in addition to many of the lyrical details on these tracks, we have many vocal performances that aren't just simply wallpaper, actually beautiful and engaging and impressive. And sure, while many of Rochelle's vocal lines on this thing are quite subtle and breathy, they're also very alluring too, like on Bite the Bait, which is an intensely sexy and expressive cut about capturing some guy she's into like he's a wild animal she's on the hunt for. We also have the song Close to Me, which displays a much bolder approach vocally as well, one that is pretty anthemic and soul-inspired. There's also the matter of the choruses on this record, which, despite many of them coming across as very quiet, actually pop. Every time I see the boy, what you see in me, I see in you. Rochelle and her collaborators on this record aren't just merely conjuring and curating vibes across these tracks. They're actually, working on structured songs that contain great production, cool details, and memorable moments. And speaking of the production, there actually are quite a few production highlights across this project too, like on the song Get It Off, which, surprise, surprise, is a bit like a Pharrell-flavored 2000s club banger, but smoothed out in such a way to where it fits in really snugly among all the other tracks on this project. There's also some which has a bit of a tropical element to it, and I also love a lot of the group vocal chant type passages toward the end of the song. Crave really stands out to my ears because of its saturated, warm, entrancing chords and beats. It is the definition of heavenly. And even though I think the song Onto Something could have been a little bit longer, I'm kind of going insane over the fact that this track sort of sounds like what you would get if you took a nasty, hard-hitting twerk anthem with rubbery bass and persistent claps, but made it sound like it was happening in a dream. And also another surprise, the song Sweet Sensation features production from none other than Dame Funk, which Rochelle knows ball to be getting Dame Funk on this project. And it is a glistening synth funk number with some really killer synth bass lines that are just like totally his trademark, and her vocals sound gorgeous over them. Now, if there are some issues that I have with the album, and I do think there are a few, the progression, the flow of this thing, I think is merely just okay. It feels less like a formal album and more like a pretty well created playlist. And while I do think the seamlessness provides a bit of an immersive sensation to the overall listening experience of the album, it also kind of means that there's a lack of definition between some of these songs, so they do bleed into each other a bit. And I do wish the record overall had some more super standout, bold moments, which I know I'm maybe asking for a little bit too much, or, you know, being a bit blasphemous, requesting that specifically. But I'm merely talking about maybe 2 or 3 more tracks that sounded, you know, as standout and as passionate vocally as Close to Me. That certainly would have been nice. Either that or fleshing out a few of the songs in this track list that end a little abruptly. But yeah, I do think the 16 songs and an intro on this project are maybe just a tad bit too bloated, and there is like a better, slightly trimmer album in the mix here. But still, as is, Through the Wall is a very impressive project and a very well put together, tasteful homage to a style of dance music that is really getting put through the ringer right now. But thankfully, Rochelle here is actually doing it some justice, which is why I'm feeling a strong 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or a link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Rochelle Jordan, forever.